welcome to the Holistic Spiritual Transformation Podcast. I'm the sponsor of the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy, where we explore ancient wisdom for holistic health and spiritual development. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly. Welcome back. Or if you're a first-time viewer, welcome for being here. We appreciate everyone that listens to our podcast. So tonight we're going to consider Aether. In the United States and most Western countries, they call it ether, but I prefer to use the term Aether because there's also a gas, sometimes a liquid, but you put it on, you see it in the movies. In the olden days, they used to use it to knock people out. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fifth element, and there really is a fifth element. We've had it in the West, we've had it ingrained in us that there's only four elements. And I've had literally discussions with people where there's no way they could even consider a fifth element because we've been brainwashed. We've been lied to about science, about everything. In Asia, however, mainly China and India, they never lost the fifth element. They have all five elements. And the medieval ancients in the Western culture called it quintessence. The ancient Greeks, it turns out, removed Aether from Western consciousness because they felt it was too dangerous for most humans. So why is that? We're going to go into that. So it was postulated that the propagation of light and gravity was through Aether. So you know that sound goes through the air, right? It's a vibration of the air molecules creates the sound. Well, how does light get from the sun here? How does light get from your light bulb to your eye? What is the substrate, if you will? What is it that it moves through? And everything is in motion. There's no such thing as a photon. Okay, that's just a moment in time of a wave. So everything is active, everything is in motion, everything has a vibration, and we measure the vibration in frequency. So what's going on here? What happened? So in the late 19th century, physicists postulated that Aether permeated space. It's everywhere. It provides the medium through which light could travel in a vacuum. In other words, a vacuum isn't empty. Huh? Well, of course it's not empty. There's solar winds, there's solar clouds, there's all kinds of things out there. So it's not empty, right? So when I was in college back in the 1960s, okay, I dated myself. We were taught that people once believed Aether was a joke. And they believed how many angels could stand on the head of a pin. So they made it sound silly. So I thought, oh, Aether doesn't exist. So when I wrote my first book, Meditation Demystified, I only had four elements. And I had to republish it when I found out, no, there's five elements. So what happened? So in the late 1800s, 1887 to 1889, Heinrich Hertz experimentally demonstrated that electromagnetic waves are identical to light waves. Really? Electromagnetic waves are the same as light waves. Notice it's a wave. It's not a photon. It's not a dot. It's a wave. And this unification of electromagnetic waves and optics indicated that there was a single luminous Aether instead of many different kinds of Aether medium. So there is an Aether. What is it? In 1905, Albert Einstein published his special theory of relativity. He proved that the speed of light is constant. No, it's not. And in 1960, I have this great book. It was published in 1960. It's called Dictionary of All Scriptures and Myths. I hope you can see it. There we go. And it's hard with the green screen. It's by G.A. Gaskell. And inside, there you go, are all of the cultures, and there's something like 20 of them, that believed in five elements. Okay? Now, it got removed because the ancient Greeks knew there were 5 elements. They called them Apollo, Hera, Hercules, Hades, and Hestia. Rome had Bacchus, Juno, Mercury, Pluto, Vesta. And ancient Greeks used fire, air, water, earth, but they considered Aether good or mind. So another way of describing Aether is, a lot of people say it's space, some people say it's spirit, some people say it's mind. So whatever definition you want to give to the word, that's what Aether is. A lot of science today call it the God particle, but there's no particles, okay? Everything is a wave, everything is in motion. So the universe is divided into 5 elements, okay? Fire, earth, air, water, and Aether. So some cultures consider it spirit. I said that already. So in the Vedic literature, there's fire, earth, air, water, Aether, and in Ayurvedic medicine, they have the 3 doshas, the Vata, the Pitta, the Kapha. Vata is air and Aether. Pitta is fire and water, and Kapha is earth and water. So in TCM or traditional Chinese medicine, the 5 elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. Metal is air, it controls the lungs, and wood is Aether, which is the liver. And the liver is the only organ where the energy goes out in all directions, which is like Aether, it goes out in all directions. So there are 5 Platonic solids. So the universe is constructed of these shapes, and Aether is the dodecahedron. So what is important about this specific shape? It is the shape of unlimited energy. So I'm going to show you, this is a dodecahedron. This is a simple dodecahedron. It's part of my Vajra. So you can see the shape. This particular dodecahedron has other shapes within it. It doesn't have the icosahedron, but it has the tetrahedron, the octahedron, and the cube. Sometimes I can make the cube show up. It's hard to make the cube show up. And I'm going to show you some pictures in a moment. So I believe astrology will not be complete until we stop believing the number 12 is the basis of everything. The 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs. 12 goes into a circle evenly, 360 degrees. 12 is the basis of everything. We have 12 months. There should be 13, not 12. How come there's 12? Who messed us up? Guess what? 5 goes evenly into 360. It also goes evenly into 60. And some people postulate that a base 60 numbering system is more accurate than a base 10. We use a base 10, right? We go 1 through 9. And then when you get to 10, you carry the 1 and you have a 0. That's 1, 0. Right? Does that make sense? I know if you don't know base numbers, that's kind of weird. So if you have a base 8, you have 1 through 7. When you go to 8, that's 1, 0. So in an octal numbering system, 1, 0 has a value of 8. So if you have 60 and you hit 60, when you hit 59, 60 is 60. It's actually 10, right? 1, 0. And that goes evenly into 360, and so does 5. So why did they change all of this? Why did they mess it all up? Because they were hiding things from us. It's time for us to wake up. The one thing I can tell you is a dodecahedron is to amplify energy, especially when you're doing healing. So if I pick it up in my hand and I send out the subtle energy to somebody, it amps up the energy. And this is what the atomic and nuclear bombs are made out of, because it has unlimited energy. It has all the other shapes inside of it. So you know what happens when you separate oxygen from water, right? Monumental energy released. What if you had everything together in one solid? So let me show you an image. I'll do a share screen. Oh, here we go, this one. Okay. So this is the 5 Platonic solids, the tetrahedron, the cube, the octahedron, the icosahedron, and the dodecahedron. That's this guy here. And everything in the universe is made up of these shapes, and each one nests into the other one. So the tetrahedron fits inside the hexahedron inside the octahedron. Sorry, I get the hiccups. The octahedron inside the icosahedron, and the icosahedron inside the dodecahedron. This is what they remove from our consciousness. Some people call this the God particle. Okay, so what we're going to do for a few moments, we're going to do a quick meditation. Just do a share sound so we can have a little bit of music. It is binaural beats. Excuse me. So it is binaural beats. And just go ahead, have a headset, put your headset on. If you don't, you can sit, stand, walk, lay down, whatever works for you. And just go into your inner space. Close your eyes and let any negative thoughts or worries, concerns, just let them float away. You don't need them right now. And so we just want to think about and visualize the dodecahedron. And what does this mean in your life? Can you use this energy? Can you speak to it? Is it really the God particle? Is it representative of source? It's everywhere. And through it, everything moves instantly. But this is why you can heal at a distance, because everything is connected through Aether. There is no separation. It's all one. And the unifying factor is the Aether. It's everywhere. And people are made up partly of Aether. You have spaces in the body. It's not completely solid. You have emptiness in the lungs, which causes you to exhale, right? You have air in the lungs and you exhale. What exists between the air molecules, right? The molecules are not next to each other. So kind of visualize, what does Aether look like to you? Now it looks like dodecahedron. It may be a light, maybe a color. What is it for you, and what is the impact for you? You are part Aether. You are all 5 elements. How does Aether play into you? And if you study the 7 rays, there is Aether right there as one of the rays. So just think about that, meditate on it, and enjoy being one with Aether and feeling its energy, its power, knowing that you can call on that power at any time to boost your energy, to boost your healing ability, to heal yourself. Okay, so we'll go ahead and come on back into the room. So just gently start wiggling your toes and fingers. Then I go full screen. It's sometimes hard to get out. I'll go ahead and stop the music. So that is my short talk on Aether. You can do a longer meditation if you'd like to connect more with that element. It's important to know there's really 5 elements, and we are part of that 5th element. One way to think of it is everybody pretty much knows what a piano looks like, right? And there's 88 keys, and there's 5 black keys for each octave. I think there's like 6 or 8 octaves on the piano, and there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 and 5 is 12, goes into A. So there's about 6 octaves on a piano. Well, the right hand, if you go all the way to the end, is the high end, right? That's the highest frequency of sound on a piano. Well, if from that point you added on 80 more octaves, 80 more more octaves to the end of a piano. You probably need a football stadium to get that many octaves added. That's where the frequency of light begins. Light is just another wave, just like sound. And we have specialized organs that hear certain frequency levels called sound, and organs that see certain frequency levels called light. So it's all there. Aether is everywhere. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's lecture, and remember to be the light you want to see in the world.